Hey, what's up guys? My name is Lani Bondombela and welcome to my financial education channel. Yeah, hey, 2020, what a year. 2020 was a very long year and it actually had so many things that we did not expect, and it showed us my most important lesson I think for 2020 was that one stream of income is not enough, and definitely if you are relying on it and you were someone who was affected, please take that into consideration as we are going into 2021, right? So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing some of my regrets for 2020, some of my achievements, and some of my plans going forward for 2021. So with that being said, my name is Garani Puntombela. For those of you who are joining me for the first time on this channel, we speak all things property related, things that are finance related, to help you to make an extra income, to help you build a property portfolio, and to never make small little mistakes that are unnecessary. Rather, you learning from experiences that are going to be different to every individual, but not to make small mistakes that are actually unnecessary, that will not cost you in the long run, right? So with that being said, my first regret actually of 2020 was that I didn't start my YouTube channel earlier. I kept on having excuses such as I don't have a camera, I don't have lighting, I don't have a nice background, I don't have this, I don't have that. And that actually slowed me down so much, to a point where I started having these things and I realized that I still have excuses, and it started being me doubting myself to say, do I even have enough value to add to the world? Are my experiences enough? Is my education, the things that I know in property and within the finance realm, is that enough to help someone else to grow and become better? I just wasn't sure, right? I just kept on doubting myself and questioning myself over and over until I decided, okay, you know what? Screw this, I'm gonna do it. It doesn't matter, nothing's gonna stop me. And if I do flop, then I flop, but if it does go well, then that's great. If I'm able to teach a few people a few new tricks, things that they didn't know, and yeah, surprisingly enough, there was some value that I could add to the world. And that regret of mine is now that I didn't start earlier, because maybe I could have helped more people, I could have educated more people by now. But hey, it is a regret and it is a lesson at the same time. My next regrets are two-parted, I guess. The first one is mainly about the lockdown period when we were under level 5. I think it was around April, May, June or so last year. When we were in level 5, I feel like there's so much more I could have done in terms of educating myself and growing myself in terms of my reading, and intentionally watching videos that are going to help me to grow as an individual. Instead, I did do that, but I feel like I could have done more. Because flipping property wasn't really possible at the time, and I focused mainly on making stupid videos on TikTok or chilling with my friends, talking with people, socializing, Netflix. I did, don't get me wrong, I did read, but I just feel like I could have done so much more, to a point where it leads me now to the second part, where I think I could have done better, is actually flipping property. Because as soon as the country started opening up, I realized that, hey, there's so much that I should have been learning. There's so much that I could have done during level 5 that I now started doing it when it was level 4, level 3, when the country was starting to open up. Now, it prevented me from starting to actually generate more leads so that I can find properties to flip. And I feel like I could have done more flipping. And instead, when it was time for me to read and educate myself, I was busy screwing around. And then when it was time for me to flip properties, I was busy reading and educating myself. So yeah, it was a bit of a mix up there. It's not the end of the world, but it's just something I wish I could have done differently. And yeah, maybe going forward now, if the year does progress and we do get into a level 5 again, which is something I definitely hope we do not, but if it's something that does happen in the near future, just to be prepared financially, firstly, be prepared in terms of what are you going to do so that you don't go crazy. Because under level 5, it is very easy to get frustrated and to go crazy, literally. So yeah, so if you are someone who feels the same way as well, just make sure that when the time does come, when the time is right for you to start educating yourself, for you to start implementing, and for you to start sharing a message with other people that could help them, definitely do it, and do it as and when you realize it. Don't wait for anyone, and don't even wait for yourself to feel comfortable. Do what makes you feel uncomfortable. Now that's just some of the regrets that I have for 2020, not absolutely all of them, right? So now if I look at it, some of the achievements that I have, the first one is actually my YouTube channel. Me posting content to educate and help people in property to not make small little mistakes that are unnecessary. It's honestly my personal achievement because I believe that I'm someone who would love to be a teacher. Definitely not a primary school teacher, high school teacher, or university teacher, but someone who can teach real life experiences, teach you real life lessons that you're going to implement immediately, things that are relevant to you today, and not things that are, I wouldn't say irrelevant, but damn, like some of the things that we learn are things that we'll never touch in our lives. For example, Pythagoras. Just making an example. Some people will need it, some people honestly don't need it. So I'm just glad that I'm able to put out a message within the African context to educate thousands of people about property so that they can start building that long-term wealth, generational wealth, something that they can leave behind besides Ikweledu and leaving behind tears for their families. Rather leave behind assets that are going to grow in value, assets that are going to generate income, and I'm able to educate and put that message through to teenagers, to people who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and even people who are in their 50s, because it's never too late. As long as you are still breathing, as long as you are still able to walk, as long as you are still able to talk, as long as you're still able to communicate with other people, you are able to build wealth. So that's one of my first personal achievements, and I think it's actually my best achievement. Something else that I'm really proud of 2020 that I did was my mentoring and coaching program, where I was able to teach a lot of people on a one-on-one basis on how to build wealth in property, how to make money in property, how to handle certain transactions, if they needed any advice regarding whatever deal that they were looking at or looking at buying a property, because it really is one of the biggest investments that a lot of people will ever make in their whole life. So I was glad that I was able to assist there, and more importantly also building relationships with people within the real estate industry, in terms of the power team that you would need to successfully conclude a deal. So I'm glad that I'm able to build relationships with other real estate agents, with other real estate property investors, and so I'm just glad that I was able to achieve that. It's something that I actually didn't think I had in me. I always thought, how do I find these people? How am I going to find other property investors? But as and when you start investing and you start talking about your investing journey, and as you start sharing your message with people you know, people on social media, people reach out to you, and you also reach out to other people, and you build relationships through that way. So no one's going to just call you, give you a random call, unless you're actually intentionally putting your message out there to say what it is that you are doing, what it is that you stand for, how you can help other people, and how they can help you. And lastly, generally when you hear people say money is not the most important thing in life, you generally see them that they are people who are very wealthy. And speaking as someone who's not filthy rich, I'm proud to say that money really isn't the most important thing in life. And I realized this when I left a lot of money on the table, all in the name of peace. I wanted peace of mind, I wanted to not stress, and being able to actually leave money on the table, all in the name of peace, is something that didn't bother me. I slept very peacefully at night. Not to say that I'm stupid and I'm going to leave millions and millions of rands on the table, but what I'm saying is sometimes the peace of mind that you get from not doing something is worth it, because I don't want to go to bed stressed out. I don't want to go to bed worried about certain things that I didn't even want to do in the first place. And I think if you get to a stage where you're able to start thinking like that, then I think you're going in the right direction. Obviously, if you are someone who is struggling a bit or needs a bit of extra income, you can't really have that luxury. But if you are slightly privileged, then sometimes don't always go for the maximum profit. Sometimes choose your peace of mind and choose your family, friends, enjoyments, living life. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of having shitloads of money if you can't use it? What's the point of having shitloads of money if you're going to be sad every day and upset and not be at peace? It really is not going to be an enjoyable experience to have all that money, right? So that's it from me in terms of my achievements for the year. Now, going into some of my plans for 2021, the first thing that I want to do actually is to come up with an online property course, crash course for first-time buyers, first-time property investors. If you want to get involved in the industry, because doing it one-on-one is not something I'm able to do anymore. I think there's just too many people that are booking appointments with me, and I'm getting really overwhelmed. So I'd really like to come up with an online course that you can access whenever you want to access it, and it doesn't necessarily require me to be with you or on a Zoom call with you every single day or every week or whatever our arrangement is. Something else that I want to do is I want to share more live experiences. So on my YouTube channel, I want to start taking more videos when I'm going out to view properties, when I'm meeting other property investors and other property real estate professionals. So my actual experience on the field, instead of only talking about it to you, so that you can actually see it when I go out and see properties there and here, and you can see the dumps that I see sometimes, and you can see the really beautiful homes that I see sometimes. Do some tours of really luxurious homes to keep you motivated as well. But that's actually my plan, is to go out there and get more professionals also onto my YouTube channel that are gonna talk about their experiences, talk about different sides of property, sides that we had never realized before, such as town planners, conveyancers, bond originators. So the different people that are involved within the property as a profession as itself, like everyone that's around it, everyone who has some sort of contribution. I'd like to get them onto the channel so that they can share their experience and whatever tips and tricks that they can give to you, so that you can make the best decision possible, so that you don't make average decisions and you make actually decisions that are going to make you the most amounts of money or give you the most amounts of enjoyment. So yeah, that's it from me. My plans for 2021, those are just some of them. Some of them maybe I'll share as and when I go throughout the year, and some of them maybe I won't share. But definitely feel free to drop me a comment in the section below if you do have any questions about anything that I've mentioned or anything else that's property related. Make sure you do like the video as well, and do subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Cheers.